Hey, hello. I am still doing setup. Give me a moment. Okay, good evening. Welcome everyone to a brand new segment of the solo mode. My thumbnail doesn't yet say that, but that's because I've been having problems with my thumbnail. I think it looks a lot better than the first one though. I can always edit those thumbnails later to look cooler than they are. They're literally just GIMP edits. I have better editing software than this, but sorry, I got distracted. I am just trying my best with how things are looking. I also want to go back and edit my Alexander raid thumbnails. Put Yorva, slap a Yorva on that. It's just plain ass the concept art for Alexander. It's really cool. I like the concept artwork. In fact, I was scrolling through all the concept artwork of Stormblood thinking, ooh, should I use this? But it all gets too busy. On a thumbnail, you wanna keep it simple. Meant to put solo mode on that, and this might throw off future viewers, but I think I'll be going back and editing that thumbnail. I thought challenge I was having, I swore I put in the right dimensions, but the thumbnail isn't quite fitting, so it's a good work in progress. I'm gonna be using the majority of it. It's just it needs some more tweaking on that, but it's good enough. I mean, it says what we're doing, you know. It's got a Yorva slapped on there, like. I want to make some thumbnails for Ziyaya as well. But, I have a lot more videos of her. I'll just have to see. But right now I'm delaying for time as people join, for tonight. And I think I'll talk a little bit about Stormblood. I did a bit of a history lesson last time about Alamigo. I didn't want to get too much into it. I think I spent probably a little bit extra time talking about stuff as I kept remembering certain things. And you know, there's a little bit to be said about Stormblood in general. I think most fans agree that it's like the weakest Final Fantasy XIV in terms of how it was executed. The story is okay. When you have like a super cool, awesome game, that again, like this game blows my expectations out of the water on most days. I don't know if it's just the sad state of gaming that we're in, or if this game is truly exceptional. I think it's both. It's both at the same time, but so a lot of people say that Stormblood's not extremely well done, and I'm partial to agree on that in some ways. I'd have to say if I had to rank from the bottom up, Stormblood is still at the bottom, Dawn Trail on top of it, Endwalker Shadowbringers, God, they're so good, and then Heavensward is always going to be my favorite. People can definitely think that Shadowbringers and Endwalker are so much better than Heavensward. It's just, as far as I could say story-wise, there's something special about Heavensward to me. I love the elements that were in Heavensward. So, we'll be sad to say goodbye, but honestly, I'm very relieved to be out of Heavensward. I feel like between me and Lark's, like, kind of mostly doing the main story quest and the other one, it kind of felt like, man, I've been doing this for a while. But I'm mostly excited to do Stormblood because it has been around 10 years, and in around 10 years since I officially did it. There may be times where I went back and reviewed some like cutscenes. And then of course there's always doing content like the dungeons in Roulette, but my memory is pretty hazy. Like, I remember a lot of the big stuff that happens in Stormblood. But there's a lot of just, like, I don't know, minute details, or, again, just like I was experiencing towards the end of Heavensward, I'm like, when did that event happen before that, or did it happen after that? That's the part where I'm getting confused, because there's a lot of things that, I couldn't remember if it came before or after a big important event or not. There's gonna be quite a few, but, so going back to, like, kind of how, again, Stormblood is the weaker written game of the majority of these games. That being said, when these are such knockout, amazing games, if this is going to be your weakest one, then it's still pretty good, you know? Like, the only thing that Stormblood, I think, truly suffers under is not being on par with Shadowbringers and Endwalker, which comes directly after it. And it also being sandwiched into Heavensward, which, you know, it's my personal favorite, but, like, through, like, a success standpoint, I think Stormblood still had the least amount of success. And I know a lot of people are poo-pooing on Dawn Trail, but it's like, Dawn Trail, I think, still did better than Stormblood. So, I'll talk about things that have nothing to do with story. I focus a little bit on it. I'm a storyteller myself. I went to college for exactly those things. Took a lot of courses in storytelling. I'm not saying I'm a really good authority figure on storytelling. I just understand some ins and outs through formal education, that honestly, I'm like, dude, anybody out there, go take some classes or find some free stuff online. That is, like, one of my favorite things about my degree that I got, is being able to analyze these things. It's fun. It's fun for me. Anyways, sidetracking off of that because I will talk about story until I die. Stormblood originally came out, I think, 2017. It was the middle of summer. Typically, games came out steadily around June, or I should say, early access was at least available by June, with games being released, around July officially. There's been a disrupt since the pandemic, of course. During the pandemic, they had to push things back, which was totally okay. So there was a little bit of infamy on the launch of Stormblood. I was there. I was there when the Dark Magic was written. They had it... I think they just started to implement what they called instances. Actually, did they... Yeah, there's one right here. So, right now it's currently telling me that I'm now in instance area, the Rising Stones 2. I'm not sure why they're doing instance areas right now, but if the server does start detecting that there's a lot of players in the area, and the server will create up to 3 instances of an area. So, I'm not again, Rising Stones is usually based on player. You'll notice there's no other players in this room with me, and there never will be. During Lark's and I's stream, you may notice that Lark's enters the Rising Stones alone, even though as I was here too. That's why I'm a little bit confused. I'm not sure why there's instance areas like this, because again, it's per player. But in overworld maps, they had to introduce this feature, and I can't quite remember if it was around the launch of Stormblood or if it was something they tweaked later on in later patches, or if I'm really misremembering it really didn't come out until Shadowbringers. But I wanted to talk about that because otherwise, if you don't, let's say you walk over to a map, like there's Mordona right out here. If you walk out and it's full, you would just be shot right back into this room and told to wait. There's too many people out there, the server can't load you in, you'll have to come back later. That is... Since we've had the instances, I swear it's only since Shadowbringers that I ever had a time where, like, all 3 instances were so chock full of players that, like, I just couldn't even zone into an area. But, there had been times where it's like, oh, I want to go to Zone 2, but Zone 2 is full. So you could only go to Instance 1 or 3. And unfortunately, like, if you're doing the hunt, it's like, well, the hunt is on Instance 2, it's not on 1 and 3, I want to be on number 2. But, yeah, so... I don't think they were fully prepared for the amount of players that were going to be online during the launch of Stormblood. They definitely weren't during Shadowbringers. There's another story behind that one. And I was also there for the Shadowbringers QEX, where there were thousands of players in line, and I would literally just run my PlayStation, go onto my computer, watch some YouTube videos, play another game or whatever while I waited in line. And you had to make sure that you were keeping your eye on that, because if you got disconnected due to internet reason, due to server reason, it could boot you out of line and you'd lose your place. And I remember being able to log into Stormblood a little bit easier than that, because Stormblood still was seeing less players ever than Shadowbringers. Shadowbringers finally brought in what I would call the waves of people that I'm now used to. I was actually telling Clementine a few months ago, maybe it was almost a year ago, but I was reminiscing about during my Realm Reborn and Heavensward days, there was times I could walk around the city of Ul'dah and I would be the only player active on like the steps of Nalderthal. Maybe there might be one or two people just kind of like hanging out by the Aetheryte, but I was saying like, yeah, I remember times where you could walk around Ul'dah and there was just nobody around. Now, Limsa Lominsa was always a hub, so it would be weird not to at least see a few other players in Limsa Lominsa. But Limsa Lominsa wasn't jam-packed like it is in recent years. And so is Gridania. Like, Gridania seems to be full of people always by the Aetheryte. I remember teleporting in, and again, maybe one or two players around, but sometimes it would not be strange if you were, like, the only one on the map. I think that is impossible. Even logging in on the wee early hours, there's gotta be somebody on the server just hanging around one of the 3 main city-states. So, that was still about the case with Stormblood. I still remember the city-states being kind of a little, just empty. But that was mostly because why hang out in some of the starter city-states when there's all of this new stuff in the Stormblood areas? So, and we'll be seeing all of them pretty soon. So, yeah, that was, some of my experience from more what I'd call like the 2015 up to 2020 era of Final Fantasy. I think a big era of this game changed when Shadowbringers was released. I think the player base has never been the same since, and I think it's been a good thing, honestly. We have more and more people playing every year. So, negative sides of Stormblood's release. There was a lot of, what should I call it? Glitches? Not so much glitches as just, like, errors. There's the infamous, like, very infamous Raubani X. I was there. I experienced it all. I'll talk more about that at length when we actually approach that, because I think it would be more appropriate to talk about there. Other things I remember happening, lots of server crashes. Raubani X had the biggest server crash that was nearly, like, guaranteed, but, there were other points that I remember. There was just a chokehold. You know, the more players that were at a chokehold, the more likely you were about to walk up to an NPC right here, talk to them, and then it said, like, server crash. So, and it mostly happened anytime there was going to be, like, a cutscene. There was going to be an instance, and that's when, you just crossed your fingers and just hoped that you weren't going to be booted and then had to go back in line to get back on the server. In fact, if I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure they did not have instances during that period, because now that I think about it, Raubani X could have been solved pretty easily by having some few instances. So I think it was through some of those trials and tribulations that they started to add some things that would they're just quality of life things. Sorry, I was also checking my messages, so I lost my train of thought a little bit towards the end. But so a lot of people were kind of upset and unhappy with the state of the game, and I was inclined back then to be like, oh man, this is kind of disappointing. But honestly, well, once again, I was just so excited to be here that it wasn't until I was looking back on things where I'm like, wow, in this day and age, that would have been horrible. But now we have more contingencies in place to kind of save us from some of those server crashes and stuff like that. So it was more growing pains from an already growing base of players that was starting to happen, and trying to think of anything else, like something I could personally share that's not just, you know, rattling off what anybody else could possibly say about, you know, the launch of Stormblood. I know, like, for sure this is my least favorite one of my most favorite games, so it's like, again, even if it's at the bottom, it's still worthwhile, you know? I'd still tell anybody who wants to begin to definitely pay attention to Stormblood. There's still plenty of very, very good little kernels to munch on, even if some of the plot is a little hard to get through. I mentioned in the last stream, I was extremely unhappy with the death of Papalimo, and a little bit unhappy with Lise. Oh boy. I wish they had written her better in that portion. We had only 2 patches, just 2 patches, to get used to whatever the heck was going on with Ida Lise. And then in a matter of less than 5 minutes, we're giving a spiel that she was never who she said she was. She's really the younger sister. And now she's Lise, and she's gonna be a whole new different character. If you're ever writing for a series, if you're ever writing a book, if you're ever writing anything for a character, please don't do that. Your audience never likes feeling like bamboozled, unless, like, you know, it's about building up some anticipation. If I had ever gotten a whiff about something about Ida not being who she really is, instead it was really only ever written into her character in Soul Surrender and then The Far Edge of Fate. Those are the only 2 pieces of content that we got before Stormblood that ever gave us anything on her. And it's like, it just feels like all of a sudden, very abruptly, Ida is gone. She never existed. You never knew her. Even if you were a 1.0 legacy character, which I gotta imagine the 1.0 people had to be rolling their eyes at that point. That, you know, nope, you've never met Ida. She was dead well before you even came on the scene. And then it just really irks me that, like, the rest of the Scions, I do find it really funny. That's the positive part. I find it funny that Y'shtola is like, Ida, we all knew you were pretending. We just kind of went along with it. But my main problem is nobody told Warrior of Light. And then, so you're just kind of sitting there like, wow, what am I, chopped liver? Like, I get it. They were probably like, look, that's for Ida / Lise to tell them. But she never did. And it was more like it didn't feel like she was hiding the fact. It's more like she just forgot, or I don't know. But the truth is that Ida in 1.0 and her Realm Reborn was always written to be the one and only Ida. She was always written as Ida. There was none of this backstory with Lise. None of that existed. So it wasn't written. But then, for 2 patches at the tail end of Heavensward, then they decided to do a whole rewrite of her backstory, and really poor choice to do that. I again, if anybody was ever telling me about a book they were writing or anything, I would just tell them, dude, you gotta rethink that. You either gotta write for that character from the very beginning and have little hints or breadcrumbs. Make us think that maybe she was evil. Hell, they spent way too long making us think Urianger was going to betray us. Ooh. They could have probably maybe done that with her instead. Be like, what's going on? Like, why is she acting sus? They just... Ooh. They gave us very little time to adjust to her. And unfortunately, we're gonna spend a lot of time with this new character called Lise. And the one that I feel like I never got to ever adjust to real fast. But, you know, they're gonna throw us into the deep end. Alright, well, I've paused enough time for my friends. We're really gonna do this solo mode right now. So 6:35. Well, technically it's 6:34 on the server. Local time. I think I have a clock that's just a little bit off, but... Alright, so we're now going past Baelsar's Wall. That's where we left off last time. And from here on out, we're mostly going to be in different territory. So, everybody enjoy Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood.
The question is, how will the Empire respond to the disappearance of Omega and the Primal? Oh, I didn't see you there. Forgive me. Word from Baelsar's Wall is proving long in the coming, and my mind cannot help but stray to grim places.
Alphino, a message from the Alliance.
It's about time. Pray summon the others at once.
Yes, sir.
General Uldin reports that his forces have secured the breach in Baelsar's Wall.
And what of the Primal and Omega?
There is still no sign of either at this time.
To shreds.
He writes that they will begin a more thorough investigation shortly. And, as expected, he wishes to petition the aid of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
As expected.
The Alliance's decision to capture a part of Baelsar's Wall is open to interpretation.
The wall serves to demarcate Imperial territory, Alamigo included, from the rest of Eorzea. To an observer, the Alliance's actions could be seen as a prelude to invasion.
Indeed. And the Alliance leaders have no wish to be branded invaders.
You're saying they won't fight for Alamigo? Even after everything that's happened?
Not without the consent of her people, no. Make no mistake, Lise. The Alliance is in complete agreement that the Empire must be purged from Eorzea. However, they will not set foot in Gyr Abania until they have formally secured the consent and cooperation of the Alamigan opposition.
They would have us act as intermediaries.
We're Switzerland.
Precisely. The Scions are uniquely qualified to serve in this capacity. That is to say, Lise's, given her personal connection to the Resistance. Who better than you to broker an agreement between the Alliance and the people of Alamigo? Assuming you are willing, of course.
You're our resident Alamigan here. We don't got any others.
Of course I am. You know I'd like nothing more.
As for who should accompany you on said diplomatic mission, I had a mind to volunteer myself.
I volunteer as
Well,
tribute.
that covers the talking part. But you just know there'll be trouble along the way. Are you available?
When am I not available? She's like, got my katana. Gotta keep using
Thanks.
that.
It means a lot knowing you'll be there.
Yorva's like, I'm never gonna get better unless I
shall
use it.
accompany you. Such endeavors are seldom hampered by a surfeit of healers.
Good point. Allow me to offer my services as well.
I have spent quite enough time here of late, so I'll be coming. But we will need someone to keep an eye on things. I trust you have no objections?
None, my lady. Gladly shall I continue to serve as caretaker of the Waking Sands, and there keep watch for signs of primal and Ascian activity both.
As capable as my learned friend undoubtedly is, there are some troubles that may prove too much for a single scion, on account of which I mean to stay.
It is settled then. Let us each see to our preparations.
There we go. New quest music. Stormblood is always rather abrupt. I remember it like jump scaring me like 5,000 times. So it's finally happening. Don't tell anyone, but I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Only a bit, mind. I'll be fine once we get going. Hopefully. This is like, I've been masquerading as a different identity for so long.
Ready, my friend?
It's scary to be yourself, isn't it, Lise?
Well then. Tataru, I leave the rising stones in your capable hands.
Don't worry, Alphino. I'll see that the place is still standing when you come back.
Do you promise? The Domans.
Mistress Y'shtola has unfolded all. You are bound for Girabania?
Aye. The Alliance would have us make contact with the Alamegan resistance as soon as possible.
It begins then. As soon it shall in Doma, if the gods are good. 'Tis but a pity it must be now. I am sorry that we shall not be present to fight beside you in the battles to come.
You have stood with us countless times, Lady Yugiri. Pray do not apologize.
She likes hanging out with
Then
us.
let us thank you instead. You and yours stood with us from the first, when we came to this land as refugees in search of sanctuary. Loath am I to think what might have become of my people, had you not extended to us the hand of friendship. We will never forget. This I solemnly swear.
Much has changed since first you set foot on these shores. Revenant Told stands as a testament to that. I'm sure your people will manage in your absence.
Indeed. They have built a new home for themselves and no longer need me to shepherd them. The time has come for Kozetsu and I to return to our master, to our home.
I know how you feel. It's time I went home too.
Though our battlefields be 1,000 mounds apart, our purpose is one. Let all men hearken to the clarion call of freedom, of liberation, from Eorzea to the far east, that they may rise up and cast down the curse of Garlemald.
Take care, you hear me? When all of this is over, we're going to celebrate, together. Just you wait.
I should like that very much. Fare you well.
1,000 moms apart, yet united in purpose. Let us pray both our endeavors meet with success. Shall we then? It's like we're off to go get tea, like, shall we? Wait, not just yet. I knew I'd forgotten something important. Lise, could you come with me to someplace not creepy and wet? Me? What now? Alright then, if you insist. Yeah, that's like, Ataru, you couldn't have done this like 30 minutes earlier? She is full lesbian attire now. Haha! Oh, well, what do you think? As you can see, I designed it to be light and loose, an outfit tailor-made to the needs of a skilled fighter like Lise. Alvina's like, good to see that you also had a outfit change. Alright. Your work never ceases to impress. Much more of this, and I may have to stop introducing you as the Scion's receptionist and start referring to you as our preeminent seamstress. It's lovely, Tataru. Thank you. I feel like I could take on a legion. And I'm glad you like it. And with that, I'll delay you no longer. Safe travels! Then onward to Kiribanya! It's just like he has to shout, to Kiribanya! Our first stop will be at the spire I cannot say because it's too hard to pronounce. In the East Shroud. Can you just say we're going to the East Shroud? I'll just find the marker there. Okay. I have Komujiro right now. In my free time, I've been doing the Yokai Watch event. It's been ongoing. I think it will go on until like October. Right now, but I figured as I'm leveling some alt classes, I might as well get some yokai merch. All are present and accounted for. When you are ready, my friend, pray inform the officer that we wish to proceed to Girabanya. The place that was flooded, oh holy hell. Ah, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. We were told to expect you. Shall I summon someone to escort you to the wall? Or was like, you don't need to summon anything. We don't want another primal. In case you needed a map explanation from the last time. Really gotta hammer that home.
I remember crossing the border, standing in Girabania once more. Me and my fellow Scions, the warrior of light among us. Behind us, Baelsar's wall cutting the land in two. Freedom on one side, tyranny on the other. Tyranny and the promise of a new beginning. But one that could only be bought with flames and blood.
Title drop. Hello, welcome. You made it to the title drop. Literally right Yeah, I was delaying for time earlier by talking about, like, Stormblood's release, and oh my gosh, there's actually quite a few people here. Like, oh, are they probably doing the yokai watch thing? I don't know. It's quite a lot of people. Oh my god, I'm not used to the map nut! Oh jeez. So welcome to 10-year-old content. Let's see if my brain remembers anything. Quite an atmosphere here, isn't it? Yeah, I know, there's a ton of people here. Everyone seems to be on pins and needles, though one can hardly blame them, given recent events. The Alliance has done well to repurpose these Imperial facilities for their own use so quickly. It's almost like it only took them 2 months. The General's in high spirits, don't you think? I know the feeling. Are you sure? You've been acting like you're scared to even come back here. So this is the East End. Not too different from the rest of the Shroud, is it? Though, truth be told, I'm not sure why I thought it would be. Yeah, they do a lot of really good blending of regions around here. To see the colors of so many nations. Limsa, Lumensa, Gridania, Ul'dah, and now Ishgard. Well, Night brings a tear to my eye. Well, considering how much we had to work for it, you know, like, I've had much to be proud of, Yorva. I like that, like, Alize is actually taking in the environment, and he's just like, oh my god, everybody's getting along. Oh yeah, I forgot about Pip over here. I love Pip. Pip is not an important character, I just like his name. Greetings, Scions. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, I welcome you to Castromorians. Thank you, General. We are relieved to hear that your forces secured the wall without incident. Well, except, you know, that part where Ilberg committed suicide off the fucking wall, but, you know. Have the Imperials made any attempt to retake Castrum since then? None. Save for a few skirmishes between our scouts and their patrols. We've had barely any contact with them, but we all know it's only a matter of time before things escalate. As if attacking Balsar's wall weren't enough, Ilberd summoned a primal right on their doorstep, and Garlemald does not like to let such shows of defiance go unanswered. 'Twas a declaration of war, even if it was not Ilberd's to make, and now we are bound by it, for weal or for woe. The Scions stand ready to serve, General. So what would you ask? So what do you want? Like, what I always want from you guys is for you to talk everybody's asses off. As stated in my message, the Alliance will not proceed without the support and cooperation of Alamegan people, which is smart. It's a smart thing to do. We would have you serve as our emissaries and make contact with the Resistance. Consider it done, General. We won't let you down, I swear. Then I'll leave you to it. Godspeed. Where the fuck did you come from? He just walked out of that pole or something. Ha! Of all the Castra in the world, you walk into mine. Do you use that line often, Sid? Also, what fucking what other where are we gonna be? The Praetorium? Where it's still all hollowed out and bombed? Like, where the fuck are we gonna go other than this cast room? Master Garland, what brings you in here? A certain missing Allagan weapon and Draconic Primal. You remember that? We pressed the fucking button. Omega and Shinryu, I think the shinobi called it. Anyway, we've been studying their trail of destruction, hoping it might lead us somewhere, which it has singularly failed to do. And 'tis like Omega fell to Earth in occupied territory, which is great for us, meaning it may already be in Imperial hands. Even so, it bears repeating that we engage the stasis systems. You know, that's never going to fail or work against us or anything. Assuming the command was received and executed successfully, the weapon will be of no use to them. Assuming. We should hurry up and find it regardless. All the more reason to reach out to the Resistance and let them know that that's probably a problem. If we want to press on into Girabania, we'll need their blessing. Everyone's counting on us. Let's not waste any more time talking. Everybody's gotta do a nod. Everybody. We're gonna hear a lot more of that. The first... God. Something about the quest accept quest completed music, in particularly this game, it's just, ugh. As you probably heard, there are plenty of fractions. There's too many fractions and I don't know how to do them, Warrior of Light. There are plenty of factions in the Resistance, so I'm taking us to see the one with the most influence. Their headquarters are located in a place called Rauger's Reach, an old temple to the east of here, across the Vidonia River. Or Villadina? Villadina, I think that's how it's pronounced. I learned a route that should allow us to avoid Imperial patrols. Stick with me and we'll be there before you know it. All I can think of is... Where did you learn that? Oh wait, before I do anything... Oh, looks like the party's off. I almost forgot to attune to this. I haven't attuned to an Aetheryte like that in a long time. Okay, I was reading that because I was like, is that a hunt train? It was a hunt train. So this is East End. Music here is wonderful. So we're starting to see like a little bit of a scenery change. It's still, like Alize said, looks a little bit like the Shroud. Oh god, Leshy. Again, we'll talk about Leshy in a bit. There's the battle music, the generic one. Still with me? Good. From here? No, why else am I here? We'll head northeast towards the river. The water's not too deep, so we won't have to swim. Maybe get your boots wet. Aw, man, the edges of my pants, though, they're gonna... Hopefully there's this bridge. Oh, there's a bigger river, I forgot. So I do like this place. There's a lot of environmental storytelling. You can again see how the Shroud is starting to end right around here. And it's starting to become a bit more rocky and mountainous. And then scattered across the field are all of these battle remnants. Very reminiscent of the Dragon Song War, where you can go out to places like Western Coerthus and see a lot of like dead dragon bodies, bodies of knights, and all of that. I would love to talk with all of them, but I'm only going to talk with them every once in a while. Their dialogue is exhausting and I only have so much water. I don't see any soldiers. Good. Let's cross. You're wondering about the tower to the south. Music. Well, as you can see, it's got the Nazi flag. It's part of Castrum Velodina. That's what the Imperials decided to call the old bridge after they fortified it. I call it a great big eyesore. Honestly, you can see that rotten banner from absolutely miles away. They never miss a chance to rub our noses in it, do they? Come on, let's keep moving. Or we should keep moving. Also, like, there's some things Lise says that maybe suggest that she's been back here, but no, at the beginning she says she hasn't been over. I mean, who would get over Baelsar's wall? I'm just saying is that when she left here, she was around the age of like 5 years old, and the fact that she could remember any of this, like, who here remembers something when they were 5 years old? Like anything. And yes, it has to be a memory that wasn't told to you by a family member or something. Like, if I were to think about something that I remembered when I was 5 years old, it was maybe like a very, like fever dream-esque kind of memory of... Could have been younger than this, but when I took my sled over the edge of some big ramp some kids had made. This was in the winter. They'd made a big giant. I remember what my Power Ranger toys tasted like. And to me, the memory feels like a dream. Like, it almost could feel fake if I hadn't had, you know, family members to confirm that this really did happen. But it's like I couldn't really tell you much detail over it. Like, mostly I remember it because my sled ramped me up into the air and I landed hard on my back. But we're here on the other side of the pass. On the other side of this pass is Rauger's Reach. Like, I'm willing to remember she knows the way to Rauger's Reach. It's not that difficult. And she would definitely remember that Rauger's Reach was a thing, but... Like, how does she know much about the fucking tower? I think the tower must have been built after she left. So you say, but all I see are rocks. I presume there's some sort of trick to this? Alfino, do you not remember Matoya's cave? Indeed. A glamour. Good eye, Y'shtola. Except she doesn't really have eyes anymore. I take it they have a talented mage in their ranks, or perhaps an artificer trained in the modification of glamour prisms. I like to imagine they just stacked a bunch of glamour prisms on top of each other and built this, like, rocky wall or whatever. Something like that. The important thing is that it fools the Garleans. The fact that it fools the Garleans means that they gotta be fucking stupid. Yeah, Y'shtola was cheating. She has special eyes. Like, she doesn't... Every time she's seeing, she's really just seeing, like... I imagine how she sees is, like, kind of through echolocation, but using ether. Because she says she only sees the ether of people, and I'll go back to Y'shtola later. Oh, before we go in, I don't know if Tataru told you, but my friend Nago, the messenger who came to the Rising Stones, is a member of this faction. So they know us, and they shouldn't attack us on sight. That said, they can be a bit jumpy, so let me lead the way and, don't go reaching for your weapons or anything. I mean, I think we know that. And with a sprinkle of demasking dust, all is laid bare. I didn't see anything change, but okay. All's clear. Let's go. Let's go. Okay.
I remember the old stories. How the Breaker of Worlds came down from on high and cleft the earth with a single blow. Rhalga's Reach, a holy place, and a fitting home for the Resistance, for the brave and the true, the loyal sons and daughters of Alamigo. They were waiting for us there, men and women whose souls still cried out for what was lost, for what could be ours again.
There's Mefred. You'll forgive us our precautions, but we couldn't be sure who had crossed the barrier. We see you now for who you are, though the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. If that is his real name. What's up, Mefred? Oh, so you really came. I never thought I'd see you here, but I'm glad. I am glad. A pleasure to see you again, and Cryon Y'shtola, without whose help I might not be standing here today, at least not so soon. Now, I know you would not have come all this way unless you had something important to discuss, and I'm eager to hear what it is you have to say. But let's not do this on our doorstep. Come with me. I couldn't remember, I'm like... There was a time where you couldn't use mounts in here, and I'm like, do I have to, complete the story? No, it's just a quality of life change. Back in my day, you couldn't ride any chocobos in here until the patch, I guess. So for me, it was like, oh, it's in-game. But you can just ride anytime you want. Okay, so I'm calling this Ameryk's Table Part 2. I think I remember being excited. I'm like, oh, thank God I can still jump on a table to talk to somebody.
Allow me to welcome you once more to Rhalga's Reach, our humble headquarters. My name is Conrad Kemp, and I have the dubious honor of overseeing operations here.
He has a last name.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Master Kemp. I am Alphino Leveilleur, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, as are my comrades. Before I speak of our purpose here, pray allow me to thank you for sheltering Ida, forgive me, Lys, and Papalymo at great risk to yourselves.
Oh, so they were here...
No, there's no need for that. They risked their necks for us enough times. 'Twas the least we could do.
I wanted to, I mean, about the mask and...
Don't fret over that. You're not the first person to take up arms against the Empire under a false name. We'd do the same if we had any sense. My condolences for your loss, child.
Papalymo laid down his life to save us, to give us a chance to make a better future for ourselves. There will never be a better time to drive the Garleans from our lands. But we have to take the lead on this. We can't leave it to fanatics like Ilberd.
More than a few of our people were taken in by his promises. Followed him all the way to the wall. Good men and women who never came back. When Monago told us what had happened, how the bastard had made sacrifices of them for his twisted ritual, by Rolger it filled me with an unholy fury. But what's done is done. Best we can do now is see that it wasn't all in vain.
That is why we are here today, sir. To see that some good comes of this tragedy. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, we do hereby extend a formal offer of military assistance to the Alamegan resistance.
Do you now? Well, go on then. I'm sure there's more to it than that.
No, it's really just that. Alfino's like, well, you see, we have a piece of paper. It says we do what we want.
So that's the way of it, eh? The Alliance, hoping to avoid a direct confrontation with the superior forces of the Empire, wishes to engage them by proxy with our vastly inferior ones. My comrades and I must confer on your proposal. A moment, if you please.
They just turn around and just be like...
Of course, Master Kemp. Take all the time you require.
All they do is just turn around and they're just like, I know they're sons of bitches, but you know, they look kind of dumb, honestly. Like, we can all hear what they're saying, and they're just like, the Alliance fucking sucks. Alright, now I gotta go to the other side. This is why I constantly hopped on this table back in the day. So when I was Lullafell, I was like, nobody even saw me on here. Now I'm really tall, and they're like, feel like an asshole doing it now. Ooh, I gotta think about what I wanna... Oh my gosh, what should I wear to prom? So, it would seem we find ourselves at a surfeit of free time. Ah, forgive me. You're free to look around Rauger's Reach. Maybe shop around, I don't know. In fact, I would encourage you to do so. It'll give you a better grasp of our current circumstances. Thank you, Master Kemp. I forgot this guy had a last name. He's always been Conrad to me, so I'm like, stop calling him Kemp. It sounds like hemp. I believe we will do just that. Maybe we'll find some hemp guys. That Alamegan Kush better hit hard. Let us make the most of this opportunity and assess the Resistance capabilities. They are all just toking it up. Free to poke our noses wheresoever we will, huh? I like the sound of that. Well, I already know this place inside out, so I can show you around if you'd like, Yorva. Oh man, Lise, this is going by real fast. Do you have to see me out on a date? Like, the outfit's really doing it for me, though. Great, let's get started. Yorva's like, your lesbian outfit does make lesbians out of everybody, so... I'll bet you think the Resistance is mostly made up of Alamegan Highlanders like me, but the truth is we don't even account for half. We've got the Hell's Guard from all the way over by the spine in here, and plenty of Seekers of the Sun like Nago. There's even some Beastmen, well, Beastwomen, I suppose. Can we still say that, at least? Like the one over there. She's an Ananta. They've been with us for a while now. If you can see her over there, very far away. Well, one of the smaller factions has. The rest won't have anything to do with us. We're no different from the Garleans to them. They keep to themselves, spending all their time crafting. Ananta make the most amazing jewelry, by the way. They use magics to twist metals and crystals into shapes you wouldn't believe. It's a pity people hardly ever get to see their work. But then, most don't even know they exist. That's enough about them, anyway. Let's take a closer look at the statue of Rauger, shall we? It's a really cool statue. You gotta see it. Oh yeah, less exciting now that we can do it nearly everywhere, but this was the first expansion to introduce swimming, so I remember a lot of people jumping off here into the water and swimming around. It was not possible before Stormblood. They eventually integrated areas in A Realm Reborn, and I think even Ishgard to some degree. Pretty awe-inspiring, is it? The Breaker of Worlds, who guided our ancestors to these lands all those centuries ago. Oh god, another Halone thing. If there's a character that I expect not remembering what politically correct terminology it is, it would be Lise. Lise is definitely, she's like, are we not supposed to call them Beastmen anymore? Ida used to tell me the story on Stormy Nights. Not the one about Beastmen and racism, the one about Rauger. She wanted me to understand, to remember. At the end of the 5th Astral Era, when the waters rose higher and higher, people all across Eorzea beseeched the heavens for a sign, and lo, a burning star appeared in the eastern sky, and led the way to these mountains of Girabania. They who were saved by his grace pledged to honor and revere him, to devote themselves to great works without and within. Storm of blood approaches fast, hells open, heavens weep, for no one's soul shall doth lie beyond the measure of his reach. Fun fact, the song that's playing right now is the instrumental version of The Measure of His Reach. That last part was inscribed on this stone by a monk of the Fist of Rauger. Ida explained it to me. A day will come, bringing strife and sorrow, that none may escape. Waste not these precious hours, but in quiet preparation make strong the body and mind. I don't know if that storm of blood is finally upon us, even though the title says Stormblood, but whatever. But if it is, I have to believe that everything we've been through, everything that has led us to this point, will see us through to in the end. Sorry. That was all a bit melodramatic, wasn't it? Let's keep moving, shall we? Off to the infirmary! Oh, you know, speaking of melodramatic things. So like, let's go someplace less trauma-filled, like the infirmary. Actually, I'm gonna jump in the water just for old time's sake. I'm like, you can't swim underneath there. See, I want to dive underneath here, and they won't let us, but yeah. You know, still to this day, swimming is it's a little underwhelming. It's never going to meet the hype that, like, flying ever did. Looks like Y'shtola and Kryl are already making themselves home here. I'm just inspecting what they're saying. They're just not really saying much important. This is the infirmary, as you can probably tell. I just said that 30 seconds ago. Here's where the resistance healers patch up the wounded and tend to the sick. No matter how carefully we planned our operations, casualties were inevitable. It's a sad thing to think about, but it's also important to remember the cost, as Conrad would say. We should go. I'll show you to the Aetheryte Plaza next. This is a close-up of an Ananta with a bow. I have to imagine Ananta are monogendered because they also, like the dragons, just lay eggs, and every time I just come across one of these quote beastmen tribes, like when it comes to the kobolds and then the Amalja, we've met a female variety of their races. They're just indistinguishable from the male variety. But the Ananta definitely have breasts for some reason, even though they're snakes. When you've seen one aetheryte, you've seen them all, right? Well, at least this reminds you to attune to it so you don't accidentally come back here and realize you hadn't. But not quite. This one's an older design, dating back decades, to when the Fist of Rauger was still here. It may look a little different, but it works just as well as any other. I'll show you to where the sutlers are next. And don't forget to attune to the aetheryte before— I did it before I even talked to you, Lise. Okay. I had to turn down this music. So, I'm not entirely a big fan of the hub areas because it's always like this. Just blaring horns and, like, it's fitting for a game that's about revolutions and war and all of that, but what do you guys have to say on it? They don't have anything extremely exciting. Arms, armor, potions, you name it, these folks got it. The resistance would be in a bad way without the brave merchants to keep it provisioned. If you're short on anything, or you need something repaired, these are the people to speak to. Oh, Alfino and Allie's, like, you're just like, oh, Alfino and Allie's are here. They've been standing here the entire time waiting to speak, Lise. Why don't we see how they're getting on? Oh my gosh. My marker's not... It's not handling well right now. Come to take the measure of our friendly neighborhood merchants. They're a bold lot, that much is plain. If the Imperials found out they were peddling their wares to the Resistance, they would be lucky to escape with their lives. I think anybody around Garlemald for too long is just... It's like, why not? It's a gamble, and I admire their courage, but their motives could hardly be said to be altruistic. Yeah, I bet they're here to make profit still. Ah, here you are. I've been looking all over for you. We did not stray very far from anywhere. We finished discussing your proposal, and we're ready to receive you all back at the tent. I've sent someone to fetch Ishtola and Kryl, so if you'd like to follow me... The sun is setting. Alright, now I can turn... Now it's nighttime music.
Thank you all for waiting. We have reached a consensus.
You all...
I,
No.
Conrad Kemp, do hereby accept the Eorzean Alliance's proposal. You must understand, however, that our cooperation comes with certain caveats.
Those caveats being...
I take no joy in this, just so you know. Were it within my power, I'd offer you more assistance. But the Resistance is far more fragmented than you realize. The men and women in my care belong to but one of many factions. Simply put, I can only speak for the people of Rolga's Reach. Now, I have every intention of appealing to the others, and I expect many will agree. But it will take time, and I cannot guarantee universal support.
Understood. I shall see that the Alliance is under no misapprehensions as to your position.
Much obliged. But that's not the whole of it. As you can imagine, the loss of those who cast their lot with the Griffin left us short on numbers. Some of our most trusted veterans died at the wall, and we've had to fill their posts with the young and inexperienced. Frankly, everything's in a right bloody mess.
Oh, we'd be more than happy to help you get back on your feet. If we're going to work together, we'll be doing ourselves a favor.
Well, there's no shortage of work to be done, that's for sure. We're in dire need of new blood, too.
Stola and I could lend a hand in the infirmary. From what I saw, they could do with a few more healers.
Very well. I, for my part, shall return to the Rising Stones. I'm certain there are others among the Scions who would welcome the opportunity to fight for Alamegan liberation.
Is there anything else we can do to help?
I had something else in mind for you lot. Monargo and Mefrid will tell you more.
Understood. We won't let you down.
Alright. Right then. Nago and Mefrid are to be our keepers. Knowing not of what they require, our one task is as good as another. Make your choice, Yorva. What do you mean? From this hat? You want this hat that I found on the ground? Wait, is this one of my favorites? Oh yeah, I love this mask. It's very Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh god, Ether Compass. Okay. Let's go with Mefrid first. I seriously can't remember either one of these. Just like in Heavensward, we got two branching paths here. At the risk of repeating myself, it's still hard for me to believe that we'd meet again here, of all places. Though I reckon you probably don't remember me after all this time. No, I remember you. Unlike Zuyaya, she remembers. Zuyaya's like, I'm impressed. Given everything you went on to accomplish, you'd be forgiven for forgetting all about your time in Quarry Mill. Suffice it to say, we didn't forget about you either, nor the lives you saved. Yeah, that guy that was with you, I bet he's fucking dead now. As for me, I went to Little Alamigo while Galleon was recovering. Gundabald was my former commander and an old friend, and I had a lot on my mind. I don't know, you stood there in Quarry Mill for like years, my guy. In the end, I decided to disband our unit. I told the men to live their lives as they saw fit. Some chose to remain in Little Alamigo, and others went on to Ul'dah for work. But as you can see, I chose to come back to Girabanya and join Conrad and the others. I've kept busy since then, ferrying people and provisions across the border and back. It's not been easy, but it's been fulfilling. You know, it's really great, Mefrid, to see that you, like, graduated from being shirtless to, like, actually wearing a lot on your... The one thing I always remember on Mefrid, he just, like, wore straps you know, as a shirt. Well, today, however, we'll be heading east to the peaks. He's like, "You still gonna make fun of my chest?" Conrad thinks we might have luck finding new recruits in the village of Alagana. Alagana? If you're going there, you're taking me with you. They have the best panpuri ever. That's right. You're from Alagana, aren't you? Not from Alamigo. From Alagana, aren't you, Lise? By all means, we'd welcome the company. There'll be more to it than just asking around, but we can all talk about it on the way. Make your preparations and meet me by the tunnel to the peaks. Alright, we'll come back to Monago another time. I have a feeling, okay, Alize is gonna come with us on that little adventure. So I did get excited in this one because we spent like all of our time with Alfino in the Heavensward expansion, so I'm like, oh, so now we just spend the entire expansion with Alize? Which we do for a good part, but Alfino comes with us because, you know, he just likes to come. Ida and I were born in Alagana, though I can't say I remember much about it. Yeah. This tunnel will take us all the way to the peaks. We're on a mission for Conrad to Alagana. Clear the barricade if you would. Aye, sir. Shouldn't take more than a moment. Gotta itch my nose. There are more villages there than out here, but also more Imperials keeping a close eye on things. We'll need to tread carefully.
I remember the peaks of Girabania, silent watchmen that would stand long after we were gone. We came seeking allies to join us in the fight against the Empire. People who had had enough. People who had suffered every possible indignity, who had been treated like animals, day after day after day.
See, nice to see that little trick. Wish they would have showcased it when we first entered, but... This wasn't the work of the Garleans, but of Theodric. His army massacred the monks here decades ago. By the time the Black Wolf arrived with his legion, it was already in ruin. Yeah, if you've done the monk quest line, this has great significance. Too bad the monk quest line barely cares. You do come here, but... I'm not about to go on a rant about the fucking monk quest. We have a glamour in place here too, as you may have noticed. So far as the Imperials are concerned, this is not more than a testament to the savage impulses of a lesser race. Remember though, once we leave these ruins, we'll have no glamours to conceal us. The village is to the east. Keep watch for patrols as we move. So, Are they gonna call it like Emprise? I mentioned in the previous episode, Mad King Theodoric. This was one of the crappy things he did that did not endear him to the people. There's a lot of good structure still here. Almost all monks, with the exception of a man named Wiedergelt, who is the quest giver, or more like just quest character in Monk questline in Realmreborn. He does give out quests in Heavensward, if you can say. The quest involving monks is one of the more poorly written quest lines in the game, and Wiedergelt is written with the dimension of a wet piece of paper. So I'm very disappointed, because I was hoping that Wiedergelt would have gotten major character story arc come Stormblood, and he didn't. Not really. Anyways, that's all I'll say about that. Alright, Meffred. He's like, what's this about a guy named Wiedergelt? And it's like, no, we're not gonna talk about him. There ain't Imperial in sight. That's a mercy. Well, it is nighttime. Alagana is due east, past that bridge. Follow me, it's not much further. But, something about the Wiedergelt and the rest of the monks' quest line is just like, I don't know if it was just translated poorly, or if it was just written poorly from the get-go, but, I remember being like, oh yeah, it's now his time. His time is going to be in this expansion, and I was, so severely let down. So, yeah. Rip. I'm being attacked by a giant grasshopper. These guys I hate. I remember this fate. I'm not gonna do it. It involves more of those guys. Oh yeah! This starts introducing, bonus rounds. Before this expansion, all fates just were the same, but, sometimes they sweeten the deal by giving this little arrow right there, and it's like, hey, you can get even more reward if you do it. A fun feature. You can rest easy. We made it. This is Alagana. No, I couldn't tell by the gate. It feels strange coming home like this. I don't remember a damn thing, except when I used my sled to fly off a ramp. Anyways, I always imagined it would be... Oh, sorry. That has nothing to do with why we're here. We need recruits. Aye, we do. But as I said back at the Reach, it's a little more complicated than just asking for volunteers these days. You just come in like, hey, does anybody want to die? Anybody interested in doing that? As you know, we're short-handed because many of our people were taken in by the Griffin's promises and went to the wall, never to return. It wasn't just them, though. Folks from all over, including some of my former comrades, answered his call to arms. Yeah, I personally spoke with one of your guys. As for why we came to this particular village, it's rumored that Alagana lost a few youths as well. If there's truth to that, then there could be others sympathetic to the cause. And again, after the Griffin's betrayal, they may be suspicious of outsiders claiming allegiance to the Resistance, and rightfully so. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know how we're gonna convince them. So with all that in mind, how are we supposed... She's with me. She's with me. She's like, then how the hell are we supposed to convince them to join? I mean, I knew it wouldn't be as simple as giving a speech in the village square. Not if you didn't want the place to be burned to the ground, no. You might as well piss in the Viceroy's eye. We'll need to be a good deal more circumspect than that. You never know when an Imperial spy is listening. We must speak with the Elder first. I know for a fact that he can be trusted. We'll listen to what he has to say and decide what to do after. Sounds like a plan. Let's hope that there's still some brave men and women here willing to fight. I was preparing myself. I'm like, remember? Hey, level 62, already 2 levels above. Kinky mastery. Okay. Ragnfrid, the village elder, is over by the shore. No time like the present. Let's have a word. Kenki, what? Kenki mastery. Oh, I forgot the translation of Kenki. Ki is, you know, like, energy. Spirits or something, like, you know, something like that. I forgot Kenki. Sword energy? Sword power? Is that it? Actually, what do I got coming up? Oh, I have Q10 now. Good, I've been really wanting to use that for a bit. Actually, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, I see it. I need to get Bao off of that hotbar. I really do. I'm trying to think, is there anything I should move around before? I have this thing where it's like I just let my hotbar fill up full of moves and then I have to get into a serious battle and then I'm like, shit, none of my moves are in the right spot. Don't know you, traveler. You a merchant? You'll not find much custom here. We're poor as shit. Greetings and well met, Elder, and sincerest apologies that I did not send word ahead of our arrival. Too long have I been away from Alagana, and I would know of your recent troubles. Ah, you're comrades of Meffred, I see. Or, I see. Speak on, though I suspect I know your purpose. He's like, I know a bitch. Oh god, that music just cut. The Griffin came with many men, and left with many more. Such is the rumor. Is it true? He lit a fire in their hearts, and then dangled a dream before their eyes. And now you come to steal away what few remain. The Griffin was a traitor and a madman, and we had no part in his schemes. We made an agreement with the Alliance. This time it will be different. This time? Cold comfort to the dead and the ones they left behind. How much more must we give before you've had your fill? Imagine she's shuffling around her trading cards. Yorva's sort of like over there. She is expecting like, Kenki, okay, yeah. Meffred's like, we're having a conversation. But you must surely hate the Empire as much as we do. Yeah, but they took our lands, our traditions, even our god. And they demanded a fifth of what little we've got left. I hate the bastards with every fiber of my being. Hate's not enough, Meffred. I can't keep doing this. I'll not tell anyone you came, but you need to go. Now. Leave us be, and never return. You've got no right to speak to us like that. I've got a quarry that was producing barely enough to keep us fed, And that was before half our young men and women went off to die for your bloody cause. So yes, I've got every right to tell you to leave my village. No, you don't, because this is my village too. My home. That I haven't lived in for like 20 years. What in the hell are you on about? Wait. I know those eyes. You're one of Curtis's girls. Lise. Lise Hext. And I'm here to take back my homeland. By Rauger. Last time I saw you, you were... I don't even know if you were still alive. And I never thought you would come. I almost didn't. And my sister never will. Lots of others won't either. And that's why we got to carry on the fight. You even sound like him. Wait a second, I know that butt. Okay, if you looked at her butt and was like, Curtis, I'd be like, Yorva's raising her hands like, I have a lot of questions. How do you know the shape of Curtis's butt so well, old man? You even sound like him. That tight ass of his. As you say, I've got no right to tell you to leave. Alagana is much your home as mine, even though you haven't lived here for a very long time. But I say to you again, we can give no more. Yes, I've heard you the first time. Let's go. I mean, at least you can't be that pissed off. Like, I get why she's that pissed off, but I also am like, bitch, you can't just come in here to a home you haven't lived in since you were 5 years old and claim that you own the place. That could have been handled better. Yeah. Well, what's done is done. At least we've been granted permission to stay. I was hoping Ragifred might help us recruit some of his people, but that clearly isn't going to happen. If we're to convince any of them to join, we'll first need to regain their trust. It's risky, and it's hardly subtle, but I say we approach the villagers directly, see what problems they've got, and see if we can do anything to help. And when you help people out, they are inclined to listen to you better. Makes sense to me. Let's split up and ask around. I don't even know what I'll be needing. There's nothing subtle about Stormblood music. Oh my god, it's the Daenerys Targaryen over there. I love your work. I loved it when you went fucking beast mode and killed everybody or whatever. Sorry, I got distracted by the fact that I'm talking with an angry coral. I forgot. I love Rugadin names. Angry coral. What did you just say? Hold on, let me reverse that. A new face in Alagana? Huh? What would you ask of me then? A stranger and a generous soul besides? Bollocks. There's not more suspicious than a good Samaritan. Oh, he's good. He's really good. On the other hand, if you were an Imperial agent, I expect you'd go about your business with more discretion. Bugger me, are you really here to help, are you? Are you? Or are you not? Very well. I'll take you up on your offer, stranger. My little brother's working the rocks by Grim and Enid. He's got something for me. Can you go and get it? Alrighty. Right then. Frightened Coral is his name. I don't know what I was expecting. Ask him for the leftovers. He ought to understand. Oh my god. Angry Coral, Frightened Coral. Who... Their parents came up with those names. Like... Somebody actually put that down on somebody's birth certificate. Yeah, I'm gonna name my kid Frightened Coral. Scaredy cat. You'd best keep your distance if you know what's good for you. Say your piece and move on. I think their parents did hate them. Looking for folks down on their luck. Congratulations, you found one. As you can see, my leg ain't what it used to be. Some days I can hardly walk for the pain. Mornings are the worst, especially after cold nights. Hard labor's right out. Too much pain and trouble for others. There's a tea that helps with it, though. I need to grind a chapuli horn and a hornbill talon for the blend. That sounds like it tastes like dirt. You'll go and get some for me just like that. You ain't trouble yourself, so. Yorva's like, I'm already going out, you know? I might as well pick up some things. Did I tune to that? Yes, I did. Okay. Oh, time to fight those nasty little grasshopper things. Something ever creep you out so much you can feel it in your palms? By the way, I hate grasshoppers in real life. I don't want them near me. They're gross. They're kind of gross looking, alien looking guys. But I hate that they like if they land on you, they're sticky. It's okay. I gotta stop thinking about it. I am glad they only required me to kill one of those guys, but... Get this hornbill. Alright, now to meet Frightened Coral. His name is literally Scaredy Cat. Oh wait, I need to check. Did they... Oh hell yeah. They've shortened the ether currents for both of these places. Ever since I found out in Heavensward that they've like... That's gotta be half, only half of them now. They halved the ether currents in order to fly. And if I just keep an eye out, they've been very gracious in, Oh god, is that an A rank over there, or is that just regular? What are you? That's a B rank. Okay, you won't engage. Oh, Buckaboo. Yeah, I forgot. I have no memory of this place. I've never been here. This guy needs to get off my ass. There you go. Hop. Blech. Go away. God, I don't want to look at him. I hate bug enemies. I hate them. Here for the leftovers, are you? Not like my brother to send someone in his stead, but so be it. It's all in the sacks over yonder. They're bleeding heavy, mine, so be careful when you pick them up. Luckily for you, I have Warrior of Light Strength. I'm gonna put it in the same pocket that I put dead bodies in. See ya. But seriously, I have no memory of this little area. There's like no reason to come back here, ever. Oh god, Buckaboo! Buckaboo! Oh god. crazy. Now they got a fate where there's a big guy. Ugh. Go away. I'm not fighting you. Oh, it's gonna be 6 a.m. soon in Eorzea. So the nighttime music for this place is perfectly fine. I cannot stand the daytime music. Just like Idleshire. It's bagpipes. 24/7 bagpipes blasted in your face. I'm not a fan. Now that's gotta be the A rank. Nope, that's not. Why are all the enemies in Stormblood, like, big enough to be A ranks? Where am I? I am lost. I'm taking the long way back. Also over here, I think we'll be coming here maybe, but Eager Raptor. More like Ego Raptor. There's just a guy to repair gear here. I want to repair my katana. Is at 18%. Alright, now to travel up this road. Alright, got your tea that probably tastes like dirt. We've been gone a while. What brings you back to Alagana? The thing I said I'd do. Here's your toenail and insect thing. Oh, I never meant to. I mean, in times like these, you never think people will actually. This country's hard on people, but it's not just that. The Imperials, they made it known I'm not to be helped. A dead man's good for one lesson, you know, whereas a live one. You're with the Resistance, right? I suppose there's no reason not to tell you then. My father, God's rest his soul, was deathly sick at the time, and so I'd gone out into the forest, spear in hand, to gather herbs. And then when I had the good fortune to run into him. And then I had the good fortune to run into an Imperial patrol. My weapon marked me as a rebel, or so they said. Not that it made a difference when I fought back. I knew that the lot of them were about the. I knew what the lot of them were about the moment the Centurion lays eyes on me. Didn't matter in the end, of course. Some people just like to hurt others. And by the time I limped back to the hut, it was too late for my father. Too late for me, too. And many others, I imagine. Help them too, if you like. They'll be grateful and say thank you. But beyond that, I wouldn't hope for much. It is now 6 a.m. That's what the music's gonna be like. God, it's so loud. It's so annoying. Ah, the new face. You have my leftovers? Yes, the Pokemon... Wait, what the hell is that description? You load 10 and 6 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. That's a nice little ditty. Huh, well, I'll be. You actually went and brought the whole lot. Much obliged, much obliged. It's saltpeter for making fire sand, in case you're curious what it's all for. Rocks by the lakes have got good deposits. It ain't hard for my brother to pass for any other plotting quarryman, all that while sweeping bits and pieces off to the side to bundle up and sell to the sutlers what trade with the Resistance. It's a living and a way of fighting back besides. Our way of spinning in the Garlean's eye for putting our father in an imperial uniform and shipping him off to some faraway province 15 years ago. Don't know if he's dead or alive, even. Though, if he were alive, he'd not be long for this world if we were caught fighting for the Resistance. So this is the best we can do. That's the long and short of it. We do what we can, though we know it's not enough. I think you'll find that most folks here ain't much different. Everyone's got a reason, but in the end, the result is the same. I suppose I just wanted you to know is all. That we know why you're here, and that even if we can't join you, we wish we could. It's also hard recruiting much people around here, because it's like, what are most of these people gonna do? Throw a stick at them? Ah, there you are, Yorva. I've been trying to help the villagers deal with this food shortage of theirs. Recently, the Imperials have been swooping into villages unannounced and seizing supplies in order to prevent the people from stockpiling, in case they might be in league with the Resistance. It's not much, but I've taught them a few tricks to better hide what little they've got left. How's Lise getting on, by the way? You'd think people would be more inclined to trust a local girl, assuming they remember her, that is. No, I didn't mean to. And where were you these past 20 years? Where were you when we were being ground under the Black Wolf's boot? On the other side of his bastard wall, living the high life, I'd wager. That's not fair. Oh, and who's this? Another one of your freedom-loving friends, deigning to help us poor, unfortunate souls. Trying to whip us into a frenzy so we'll go and storm a castrum with our pickaxes and shovels? Leave, all of you, before you bring a cohort down on us all. And you, don't you dare speak like you're one of us. You can't even begin to understand what we've been through. You weren't here, Lise. You weren't here. This is my home, and I love it with all my heart. And if you truly have any love for it too, you'll keep us out of your doomed rebellion. He has a point. No matter what I say or do, it doesn't change the fact that I left them behind. At 5 years old. And it was my father and my sister who really left, but you know. But this isn't about me or anyone else. It's about Alamigo. Let's go and find Mefred. Yeah, at least maybe I wouldn't throw around the but I lived here when you only kind of lived here for like 5 years. You've lived more outside of here than you have lived in here. Maybe it wouldn't be easy, but you can't just say magic words and it'll all be better. Looks like the Elder wasn't the only one unwilling to hear us out. Can't blame them, given what happened at the wall. Thought I might be able to appeal to them as a fellow. I don't know. But if anything, it just made them angrier. I haven't lived through it like they have. I can't claim to know the struggle like they do either, Lise. I ran too, but if I hadn't, I'd never met Yorva or the rest of you, and we might not be here today in a position to make a difference. So I don't regret my choices, nor will I apologize for them. There's more than one way to fight. Stockings. Help! Someone! Anyone! We need help! All of our Pokemon cards are sold out! I don't like the sound of that one bit. Let's go. Pokemon cards. The Tribunum and the bloody Ratman, they... Damn it all. You there. Take a deep breath and tell us what happened. They took all of our Pokemon cards. It was all business as usual. The Tribunum's due soon, and we were taken to the Imperials when the Keycurrent attacked. They took my brother and all our Pokemon cards. It's not time to drop cannibal Keycurrents just yet. Shh. Took him where? We went to the south of here, which is an old temple before they came and... Listen, we're Kratas are the only family got left. If I lose him, I won't be able to play Pokemon with anybody else. Ziggurat? If the Ratman took him there, then he's as good as dead. We've got to get after them. If there's even a chance her brother is still alive, then we might be able to get some Pokemon cards. You're right, Lise. I too want some Pokemon cards. We've got to help them. If not for the missing man, then for the Pokemon cards, for sure. The Garleans won't suffer excuses if they're late. Are these cool boots? Oh, they kind of are. Oh, they got spurs on them. Yeah, let's do that. So Warkrata is being held somewhere in the Ziggurat to the south, which has been taken over by a host of Keycurrent bandits. That about covers it then. Be prepared for a fight. They may not be the most challenging foes, but there sure be a lot of them. Let me just ride the father of all dragons over there. No big deal. Man, when the time comes, I have to realize when I should grab up some more samurai quests. Like, I have no memory what happened in the Stormblood samurai quests. Mostly because back in the day, you did what is technically the Heavensward. Oh gosh. I don't think these guys are gonna leave me alone. Oh, I managed to sneak by him. But I did the Heavensward questline and then the Stormblood questline like all in one go, so just kind of like all squished together. Please, let me go. I'm begging you. I don't want to die over Pokemon cards. Welcome to the Ziggurat. They did fuck all with this and it looks cool. Hear that? I think it came from the top of the Ziggurat. Who dare comes to loot our man flesh? Ours to eat. Ours to eat. Oh, they eat humans. Great. We knew it'd come to this. Kill them quick before they alert the others. Now here's my question. Are they actually cannibals if they eat the flesh of other races? This is a common question in D&D. Like, if an orc eats an elf, like, is that cannibalism? I like that. I like how this guy is on the front. At least you want to help? No? Okay. I just like want to point out this guy just like laying face down, just prone. Guess they're all like that. They're just. That's how my dog lays when he wants to nap. No, but I feel like they would probably eat each other if it came down to it. That is true. Unfortunately, I wanted to learn so much more about these guys. I wanted a whole thing about them. But this is about it. They're like, hey, it's Cannibal Keekern, upside down Ziggurat. I'm gonna have to fight this guy. We're gonna have to kill this guy, aren't we? Yeah, we are. But yeah, they introduce us to Cannibal Keekern Ziggurat Tower, and then they do nothing else with it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is actually why Stormblood is the worst Final Fantasy XIV game. It's specifically because of this. Like, this is why everybody said Stormblood was bad. It was because the Keekern were not used again. And I'm forever upset about that. I wanted them to summon Doom Train. We got Doom Train like 6 years later or something like that. I'm about to die. Where's my Chocobo? Did my Chocobo die? I think my Chocobo just ran out of time and left me. Alright. Hi, Rauger. What did I ever do to deserve this? I've gone to bed hungry for months. I'm skin and bones. Even though... Have you looked at my pecs? I'll hardly make a snack, much less a meal. Yorva's like, that's what you get for still going to the gym, my guy. Oh, you found him. Oh, wait, are you here to rescue me? We're here for the Pokemon cards. Your sister sent us. It's going to be alright. My sister? Oh, Rauger be praised, she's safe. And you lot fought your way in here just for me? For me? To think there are still good, brave folk in this world. We should go before the Keekern return in force. Do you still have the Pokemon cards? Oh gods, the cards! The Imperials be wondering where I am. I have to go. But right now, in your condition, you understand. We were given a warning last month for being short. We didn't have one foil card in those packs. If I don't make it in time, there's no telling what will happen to me and my sister. At least it's like, I wanted some cards. I'm glad we saved him, but seeing him run off like that, I've got a bad feeling about this. Yorva's like, yeah, they shoot each other in the parking lot over Pokemon cards, at least. Like, it is not something to be trifled with. Kingenbana! What's that sword called that I was like, it's literally the Hingenbingen? The Hingenbingen sword? Every time I look at it, I'm like, I can't believe it's called that. I think it's Hingen-Shingen, but I'm like, the Hingen-Shingen-Bingen. Listen, Yorva, Mefred, I think we need to go after Warkata. And that's, not just because I want some cards. Wait, you better not be thinking of stopping him. You heard what he said. If they don't pay one way, they'll pay another. I know that, I do. And I don't want to interfere. I just want to see that he makes it there safely. If that's the sum of it, then fine. Let's head down and see if we can't pick up his trail. Alright. Goodbye, Keycurn. We're never really gonna deal with. I think there's some side quests that send you up and around here. But honestly, that's it. They send you here to the cool ziggurat, full of man-eating Keycurns. And that's it. They refuse to do anything else with it. Pisses me off. I guess it's on the road out here. Oh, there it is. Rotting vegetables. You can't eat me today. Yeah, that's right, go home. You can try again another day. Upon closer inspection, you find no shiny Pokemon. In the dirt, you spy a card on the ground. Any luck? No, it's just a Pichu. A Chocobo feather and a Pichu card, huh? Aye, by my reckoning, it came from Rakrata's bird. In which case... There's a collapsed bridge just around the bend. Hug the rocks and stick to the shadows. We'll find him soon enough. You know, the windows that are just installed into the rock there. Any minute now. I expect he'll come thundering around the bend and... Hear that? Get to cover. Quickly now. I don't know, Mefford. Can you hear anything over the sound of that music?
Are they Imperials?
Worse. Skulls. Listen, Lise. Whatever happens, stay hidden and do not intervene. Understood?
What?
You there! Halt! You know you shouldn't be here. Explain yourself.
Forgive me, sir. I came to deliver the tributum.
Oh, aye. A likely story. Only a fool would dare to come so late. Or, mayhap, a resistance spy.
No, you've got it all wrong. I was waylaid by bandits. It's not my fault.
I said halt!
Is this a joke? You don't seriously expect us to believe this is a fake? How stupid do you think we are?
It is, I swear, on my mother's life.
Spare us. You came late, you lied about bandits, and then you tried to cheat the Empire of its due.
Think you can kill them all? Including the ones watching from the tower? Even if you did, others would come for him and his family. You'd be condemning them all to a life of hard labour. Assuming they didn't just execute them, that is.
But it isn't fair.
It's your bloody fault we're stuck out here patrolling this god's-forsaken wasteland. It's your fault I have to listen to people go on and on about how Alan Egan's can't be trusted. I've worked and toiled harder than any man. I'm a citizen, goddammit. And what are you? A stupid, stubborn little dog who'd sooner bite the hand that feeds him and pine for the good old days.
That's enough! Lord Xenos is expecting our report.
I bet the poor bastard can't believe his luck. He gets to go home. We should do the same.
So, those were the skulls. They work for the Empire. They're not Imperials. They are Alamegans who have sided with the Empire. And, you know, like all Nazi sympathizers, they're just a fucking bunch of bullies. We could have done something instead of just letting it happen. Lise, this is exactly as Mefford would say. What are you supposed to do? I heard their commander was keen-eyed, but gods, that was a near thing. It tears me up inside to see our own kinsmen doing the bidding of the Viceroy. But they made their choice, and if it comes down to it, I'll cut down every last one of them myself. Yeah, so, they're just traitors, honestly, is what they are, but, I don't even know what I want here. Yeah, let's do that. Orkrada's alive, and the tribute has been paid. That's all that matters for now. I, for one, would rather not wait around and see if the skulls decide to return. We best get back to Alagana and tell Ragnfried that his man got the job done. See, it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, if they hadn't delivered that, the Imperials would have probably inflicted worse punishment on them. But also, by actually delivering to them, he just got the shit beat out of him. And was lucky to even still be alive after it, because, I'm not sure what, I'm gonna call her Miss Lady right now. Miss Lady over there thought, but maybe she just thought killing him would just be too much effort, too much work. We owe you a debt of gratitude for what you did. Orkrada told me everything. How you fought with the Keycurn and saved his life. For all the good it did. We saw what happened when he met with the Skulls. How they beat him half to death. We could have stopped them. I reckon you could. Mefford's a warrior, as your comrade, and you're strong like your father. That much is plain. But I think Raugr you did not. Because it would have not ended with them. Orkrada and his sisters would have been branded insurgents, if not the whole lot of us. Bones heal, scars fade, but the dead remain dead. We're alive, and that's more than can be said for Only the gods know how many others. That's enough for you, is it? To put up with whatever they do to you, so long as you get to see another day. That's right. You grit your teeth and you learn to live with the pain. I'll admit I was quick to judge you, Lise, and for that I apologize. I know you and yours meant well, I do. But I'm telling you, God's in the heavens is my witness that we've got nothing left to give. We can't help you. I understand. Thank you for your honesty. She may say it, but she don't mean it. Nor would I expect her to. Her father was stubborn as an ox too. If she's set on walking the same path, I but pray she won't follow it to the same end. Well, she took it better than I anticipated, which isn't saying much, I suppose. We should go and see if she's alright. Wait, where the heck did she go? This is a large... Okay, just outside the gate. Sorry about running off like that. Alamegans terrorizing their own? I just can't accept it, you know? No matter what he thinks, they shouldn't have to put up with it day after day after day. I'm not completely naive, you know. I didn't expect them to storm a castrum with their pickaxes and shovels or whatever it was. But nor did I expect Warkrata to just lie there in the dirt while they kicked him. I can't claim to know their pain. I barely remember this place or even my father's face. But I remember Ida's. I remember how scared she was when we ran, and that look in her eyes when she talked about home. Her home. But not mine, is it? There you are, Lise. I've been looking all over for you. Well, you found me. Got something else to say? Aye, that I do. I said some things to you before that I shouldn't. Wasn't my place to do so, and I'm sorry. All that rubbish I spouted just how I love my village. But when one of ours was in need, I was cowering here with all the others. Didn't even think to go after Warkrata, but you did. Made me feel like the bloody hypocrite I am. If I truly cared for my people, I'd fight for them. So I will, if you'll have me. You're asking to join the resistance. When you put it like that, I suppose I am. But not just me. There are others I know who have been thinking about it for a while now. There's not many of us, and we're not hardened warriors like you lot, but if your hearts bleed for Alamigo, then that's good enough for me. You and yours are more than welcome at Ralger's Reach. Thank you, sir. You won't regret this. I'll go and speak with the others and send word when we're ready. Still think this isn't your home? No, I was just thinking out loud. And with that, my friends, our mission is concluded. Let's return to the Reach. So something I should kind of expound upon a little bit. A lot of this expansion will go through kind of like Lisa's development. as we know, she spent 6 years pretending to be someone else. And in that time, in trying to be her sister all the time, Lise never developed her own kind of personality for a bit there. She is 100% more serious than her Aurora-born counterpart will ever be. But we'll notice little bits and pieces as Lise begins to realize that she doesn't really quite know who she is. Surprise, surprise, when you pretend to be someone else for so long, I think you lose the plot. And the fact that, 6 years ago, Lise would have been, at least a teenager. So some crucial formative years for identity were kind of washed away. While also, like, again, your personality begins developing kind of like at birth, but when you spend 6 years with somebody else, I gotta imagine that has to fuck with your brain. And then also, like, considering she was still pretty young, she probably was like, oh yeah, I should have been at the club, but I wasn't. You know? First of all, allow me to commend you both on a job well done. Though nothing went according to plan, we nevertheless managed to attract some new recruits, and it was your passion and conviction that moved them to join. Thank you. No, thank you for giving me an opportunity to find out what our people have been through these past 20 years. It's been humbling. And troubling, too. I'd heard about the skulls, but that was my first time I'd ever seen them in the flesh. I know you say they're the same as any other Imperial soldiers, and maybe that's how I'll have to think of them myself if our paths ever cross on the battlefield, but when, not if. That day will come, Lise. You can't afford to hesitate when it does. Young, old, conscript, citizen, Garlean, Alamegan, none of that matters. They've all got their reasons, but they're no better than yours, especially when they're bearing down on you, blade in hand. Saying that, I don't want to kill them any more than you do. If I could convince them to lay down their arms, I would. Sadly, I've never been much of a talker myself, but who knows? Maybe you could be the one, Lise. Your father certainly was. And that's the other thing, her father was a major part of the resistance in the earlier years of the fighting, so trying to live up to that legacy also has got to be pretty daunting. Right then, I'd best be preparing for these new recruits. Yorva, Lise, it's been a pleasure. Is it like a weapon? I don't know. Any of these look good. This early on, like, not a lot of the weapons or armor are going to be better than what I have currently, so I'm just kind of picking at random, which just sounds good. What I might want to glamour later on, maybe. Alright, let's go see what Minago's doing. Hopefully it takes 30 minutes. If not, we'll just kind of do a recap of what she wants in the next episode. Before we begin, I'd like to thank you and the Scions again for patching me up after I bled all over your floor. I owe you my life, and maybe a new floor. And I won't forget that. Furthermore, it was rude of me to run off without saying a word. It's all well and good, me claiming my duties here couldn't wait, but a parting thank you was the very least you deserved. My apologies. Uh-huh. Always. And thank you. Now to business. Commander Kemp's entrusted me with the formal reply to be hand-delivered to the Alliance leadership. Covers everything we discussed. as well as detailing the disposition of our foes. What I need is an escort, 1 or 2 men at most, so we can make it to the wall swiftly and without attracting undue attention. Very well, I shall join you in this. Ali says, like, it's my turn now. General Alden commands the forces at Castrum Oriens. It should be simple enough to see it into his hands. Great. That's just what I wanted to hear. When you're ready to depart, meet me at the pass leading out of the Reach. I can't remember if this one's the quicker one or not. I mean, everybody makes us go on some sort of rigmarole, right? Like, we're gonna weekend at Bernie's all the way to Raubon. That's what's gonna happen. Just need to find a good dead body somewhere. Well, have a good night. We'll only be going for another 30 minutes. Got everything you need? Good. Then let's be off. And boy, am I gonna need it, like, all this talking. Trying not to trip over my own words. My throat is burning. More like I need more water. I keep sipping on it occasionally, but they're making me talk more often than not. Quiet! Hear that? That was the ceruleum engine backfiring. Imperials. Eat gods. Even perch our national senses. I didn't hear a thing. Well, she is Makote. When you grow up hunting in these lands, you learn to discern the sounds that could mean life and death. Be they a predator or a patrol. From what I'm hearing, we have a 7-man patrol augmented with a single Magitech armor. Wide search pattern. Divided into 3 teams. I don't think they know we're here. It's risky, but we should split up and try to take them all by surprise at the same time. I don't want them calling reinforcements. 3 teams, 3 of us. Nothing for it then. Where are they? Head north. You should see them long before they see you. I'll deal with the ones to the south. The armor should just be to the west. Yorva's best equipped to deal with that. We attack in 5, and that should be enough time to get into position. Rendezvous on the east bank after. Any questions? No? Then good luck. To the west. You know, I forgot. I should probably be using Alpha here as my mount. I gotta kill this guy first. Just like that one motorcycle, I believe it's one of the few Mog Station mounts that has increased speed compared to other mounts. Doesn't matter once you unlock flying, everything's the same, but when you have to travel on the ground, I think what I'm calling the Alpha Mobile is a superior choice. that takes care of that. Yeah, let me take a look at, not companion. Mount guide, that's what it's called. Yeah, get away from me, Boper. If you ever look at your mount list when playing, and you ever want to know, when it says, well, no, that just means 2 players. Right? Because you can't put another player on this. Wait, let me look at the, did I ever get the parade chocobo? I guess I never did. Anyways, I'm just gonna use this as my main mount. We're gonna see a lot more. Funny enough, we will be doing this quest in this game, but when you have this mount, it's like, we're meeting Alpha a little bit too early. Aw, man, can I get up this? I can, okay, good. Going back to the days where can't fly anywhere, just have to hoof it. Hopefully with the Alpha mount it'll go faster. Looks like everything went to plan, not that I'm surprised. The 3 soldiers I faced didn't put up much of a fight. Most of the Imperials we get out here are conscripts from other provinces with little training and even less conviction. It's grim work, killing men and women like that, but don't doubt that they'd do the same for you, or they'd do the same to you if the roles were reversed. And don't you dare pity a man in armor. Conscripts or no, a soldier piloting one of those can kill a dozen good men in the blink of an eye. Not that I need to tell you that, after what happened at the wall. Oh my gosh. Some of these outfits. I'll do the striking one. Dress up games, guys. Oh, that is a really cool. Oh yeah, I do know this one pretty well. Right. I believe we've rested long enough. We should resume our journey before someone notices their missing patrol. So Stormblood does do a wonderful job of writing a story where it's not just killing Nazis, you know? It's the horribleness that a lot of the times when we are fighting the Garleans, we're not fighting like true blood Garleans. They usually stay back in their homeland unless they're like, you know, high-ranking officials. They usually just take other people that they have subjugated, put them in some armor, and let them go fight their wars. And it's horrible, but we're clear. Only Alliance patrols ahead. You said the forces at Castrum Oriens were under the command of Flame General Raubon Alden, did you not? By Rauger, the Bull of Alamigo himself. I've never dreamed I'd have a chance to meet the legend. But, I think back on our Realm Reborn adventures and, how probably a lot of the Imperials, a lot of them seem pretty loyal. They would often shout, "For the Emperor," or whatever. So I think, like, conscripts who are just like, "Yay, I'm just here," they wouldn't be shouting that shit, but, now that being said, some of these people, like the Skulls, definitely are siding with the Empire for their own fucking goals. So it's not like they're being held against their will. It's like they're actually trying to play the game. And those people are just as bad as the Imperials, honestly. Just trying to profit off of the suffering of their own people.
It is good to see you again, my friends. I hope you are here to tell me you have made contact with the Resistance.
We are, General. Allow me to introduce Monago of Rolga's Reach.
At your service, sir. And may I say what an absolute honor it is to stand before the Bull of Alamigo.
These are not the Blood Sands, girl. You and I are but soldiers on a battlefield fighting for the same cause.
As you say, General. On behalf of Commander Kemp of the Alamigan Resistance, I present to you our formal response.
Good. I'm glad we've reached an accord. Though I was not aware you had suffered such losses.
Aye. Some of our finest took part in the Griffin's doomed assault, and we've been struggling to find new recruits ever since. The massacres cast a pall over the whole Resistance, and many who might once have been open to joining us have since thought better of it.
After all of the Griffin's false promises, one can hardly blame them. They have no desire to give their lives for a lost cause.
We will not lie to them. This is war, and lives will be lost. Yet what we offer is not the fever dream of a madman, but true hope.
The people need proof of this, Father. Let us show it to them. I say we stand shoulder to shoulder with our new allies and engage the Garleans in open warfare. The Resistance must demonstrate that they can hold their own against Imperial regulars. And with our assistance, I am confident they can do just that. If we can achieve even a token victory, I believe it will serve to rekindle the hope of the Alamigan people and inspire them to rise up once more.
Aye. Aye. Once word spread that we'd won a battle against the Garleans, I'd wager we'd have new recruits flocking to us from malms around. The question is, when and where do we strike?
I'm glad you asked. I have a plan.
Oh, we ran out of budget. Our scouts recently informed me of an interesting development at Castrum Volodina. Namely, the arrival of a shipment rumored to have come from the research and development facilities near the capital, containing prototype Magitech armor. It is our assessment that the armor is to be field tested here, most likely against Alliance forces. Mayhap before the day is out. Damn it all, more Magitech weapons? That's the last thing we need. Your concern is not unwarranted, but we needn't despair just yet. The shipment is thought to have contained a single heavy unit and one or two support units. With a well-laid ambush, we are confident we can destroy them all, hindering their development and delaying future deployment. Let's give you 1 minute. Ah, I feel like I gotta sneeze, but it won't do the sneeze, you know? Okay. And should we carry this out as a joint endeavor with the Resistance, they will have their rallying cry. It would mean dropping all pretense about the Alliance not wanting to go to war with the Empire. But you'll have a lot more folk willing to stand up and fight if they knew they weren't alone. And if you're going to have to do it, and you were going to have to do it eventually anyways. Yeah, that's usually a big motivator. We're like, well, you can fight now, you can fight later. Exactly. And so what I propose is simple. We harry their patrols to bait them into bringing their prototype weapons to East End, where our resistance allies will take them from behind. There's a joke to be made there, but I'm not gonna make it in front of my son. Simple indeed. And we're well within our capabilities. I see no reason to delay, especially if a field test is imminent. What say you? Assuming the Vice Marshal's intelligence is accurate, I agree with his assessment and fully support his plan. I shall notify my comrades at once. Understood. I shall have one of my men bring you the details of the plan anon. And we, for our part, will be fighting with the Alliance, yes? Somehow doubt you were intending to sit this one out. Yorva was like, I do like fighting. And I want that jacket. See. I don't have much time left. I think this is a good spot to kind of leave it. We'll be doing some more action-y things afterwards, if I recall. Oh, like there's just question mark. Yeah, this is a pretty good place to log out. So, yeah, this is the exposition. It's the beginning of the story. Gosh, we're still not... We had a long time. We got a lot of stuff to get through, if I recall. We're still going to be here a bit, but we're going to be moving on to other areas pretty quickly. And that's a roller coaster once we get there. Anyways, I'm signing off for the night, a little bit like 9 minutes early. I think that's fair, considering we had to go over the last time, but I really wanted to finish up and start Stormblood. Updated thumbnail to come, more story to come. I will see you all on Thursday. Thank you very much for joining, and have a good night.